Nigerians has disagreed with the Sultan of Sokoto, blasting for saying that social media is a terrorist organization. Now, few days ago, the Sultan of Sokoto was speaking and he said that social media is a terrorist organization, so the authority should deal with it. But people say the Higaba, say lie, that social media is never a terrorist organization, that social media has done more better than the harm he's talking about. In fact, they kept on saying that social media is a reason why they can never do anything again and hide it from the public. And now they are also saying that social media is also an avenue for people to connect with their friends and their family. People are studying through social media. People are buying and selling on social media. People are doing different kind of things that is enhancing human life and human living on social media. In fact, that they are blasting him that he should have used that opportunity to encourage the government to step up their games and start doing the things which they are supposed to do, not trying to corner it through social media. That it is the failure of the government who has failed to step up their games and use the advantage of social media to do the better things which they are supposed to do, not attacking social media as they are trying to do on this one. In fact, I am going to allow you to listen to Arise News Crew and other reactions concerning what the Sultan of Sokoto said and the reactions that people are throwing back at him. But as you are listening, make sure you are clicking on that share button and also subscribe for more updates. And after that, I will be back. Let's go there.
Reactions trailing comments made by the Sultan of Sokoto, Mohammed Saad Abubakar III, who has described social media as a terrorist organization following the recent killings in Plateau State, highlighting its role in spreading false information and inciting unrest. The Sultan made the comment during the 7th Executive Committee meeting of the Northern Traditional Rulers Council in Maiduguri, Borno State. The Muslim leader urged security agencies to address the issue of fake news being spread on social media with the seriousness it deserves, akin to other threats to national security. Let's take a look.
People don't know what Fulani is, please read books. People don't know what Kanuri, read books. Everything is there. And that's how we start government for bringing back history. Some of us try to close the history books, although history does not exist. You can't read history. You can't. What happened has happened, and it's there written. You can't come and through social media. So that's one terrorist organization, social media. Social media is a terrorist organization. What they do, when somebody sits in his comfort room and formulate stories, and you will swear that it's true. So, social media is a terrorist organization that we must deal with. Security agencies must deal with this terrorist organization called social media.
All right, this is a very loaded statement, very heavy. A lot of reactions have trailed it, obviously because, you know, he's talking about social media and users on social media have reacted. Let me take this from Step Up Niger, who wrote, statements like this are worrying and deeply dangerous. Social media is not a terrorist organization. It's a tool, a platform where Nigerians organize, speak up, and hold power to account, especially when traditional systems fall short. The real threat isn't social media. It's the leadership vacuum, lack of justice, and broken trust that fuel frustration in the first place. Yes, misinformation should be addressed, but silencing citizens is a slippery slope to authoritarianism, not a solution. We need leaders who solve problems, not suppress voices. Kind of agree with Step Up Nigeria. I'll take this other tweet. This is from Amadou, who wrote, terrorist organization might sound dramatic, but he's not far from the truth when you look at it from a bigger picture. Terrorism isn't just about violence. It is about spreading fear. And in today's world, fear travels fastest through one medium, social media. Radicalization at scale. Extremist groups use social platforms to identify, groom, and recruit individuals through memes, videos, and forums. They normalize extremist views and weaponize ideology. Terrorist acts are often designed for maximum media coverage. Social media multiplies this tenfold, turning local events into global propaganda in minutes. Platforms like Telegram, WhatsApp, and even Twitter DMs become tools for planning, coordination, and private propaganda away from law enforcement scrutiny. gamification of violence. Some extremist groups treat acts of terror like missions or achievements. Social media becomes the scoreboard, rewarding those who go viral with notoriety and admiration in radical circles. Several attackers have broadcasted violence in real time, knowing platforms will amplify the spectacle. This serves both propaganda and psychological warfare purposes. Social media isn't causing terrorism, but it's become a powerful amplifier, recruiter, and stage for extremist activity. Understanding this is key to disrupting the digital ecosystem of modern terrorism. The role of social media in our contemporary world can't be overlooked. That is a loaded tweet, a lot of dimensions with what he has said. And I do also agree with not everything, in part of everything that he said.
No, I think the lion's share of what he said is actually quite apt.
Yes.
And I think that for a tweet, it almost reads like an article or an essay, really, because he's articulated himself very, very well. And I think that what he has done is really identify the problem with social media. I'm quite accustomed to defending social media because I think it serves a great good. And we've had, even before the explosion of social media, we've always unfortunately had crime, had negative issues, and what we might not have had is a vehicle to make people aware of what is happening in the world. Have people been able to weaponize social media to negatively? Absolutely. So I do think that what he said is correct, but I don't think the solution is to ban it or to end it. It's unfortunately another layer of this evil of terrorism.
Absolutely. Let me take another tweet, Rufai, because I know that you want to buttress your point here. This is from Polonium, who wrote, I think what he wanted to say is that terrorists use social media to showcase their crimes. Don't we see how terrorists and bandits post pictures of them sharing money on TikTok? Perhaps that's what he was referring to. I'm sure he has children and grandchildren who use social media, including WhatsApp. Are they terrorists or committing terror? His media aides should quickly do a PR and clarify his remarks. I think his remarks were quite accurate. I mean, he did say it. He reiterated social media as a terrorist organization. I mean, I think that he meant what he was saying in that video, Rufai.
So social media is not a terrorist organization. It can't be a terrorist organization because what is it? Like he said, it's a media. It's a medium. A medium is a blank canvas. What you put on that medium matters a great deal. Prior to this time, there's something they call books. Historically, when you go back to the 1500s, one of the first major tools that changed the world was the Gutenberg Bible, printed by Johannes Gutenberg, because then it was a big deal reading the Bible and knowing it for yourself. It was when the likes of Martin Luther got a hold of that, he wrote his theatres on Winterburn Gate, and he said, the just shall live by faith. It caused a big liberation in the Christian fold. Then, as printing went of age, people got more information. These are mediums. Then, in the 20s and 30s, Guglielmo Marconi transferred the first radio wave. Then we had radio. That was also used to spread propaganda.
So many different.
What we call traditional form today was used to spread propaganda. In fact, it was said the likes of Father Coughlin spread a lot of anti-Jewish propaganda through the radio. Then in the 50s, the likes of ABS, CBS, and Dumont brought about this new technology called television that had been perfected in the 20s and 30s by the likes of John Longy Bird. It was also used. We had words like the revolution will not be televised. Then DARPA came about. Tim Berners-Lee in 1991, the World Wide Web. All of this platform will be used, but the question is, how is it used? So social media is not the problem. It has also been a force of good. If not for social media, are we going to know about the kid that they were beating yesterday that the governor of Borno saved?
Perfect example, because I also
if
have
not for social
story.
media, are we going to know about the inequity and the crisis that is going on? Are we going to be able to reveal police officers that are doing all of what they're doing?
The girls in Ivory Coast.
The guests in Ivory Coast, if not for social media. So it's what you put on it. Traditional media too can be a tool in the hands of terrorists.
Yes.
ISIS had a newspaper called Dabik that they shared. What can we do? I think the very first thing we should do, the Americans have a cybersecurity force in their armed forces now. We should be able to have a cybersecurity unit that goes ahead, that is part of most social media sites, that debunk most of these lies and bring clarity. the traditional gatekeepers too can also do that work, which we've been doing.
Absolutely.
Fact-checking most of the stories and all of that. Sometimes we will not get it right.
Yes.
Look at the story of the summon. The state came out to debunk it afterwards. Most media are taking it. I even took it. But we can quickly retract and say, okay, this is the state of things and what is happening. Then most importantly, educate people more on most of these videos and all of that.
Yes.
But you saying it is the terrorist organization, it's just a platform. It cannot be.
Yes.
It's also being used as an agent for good.
Yes.
There are people that their faith was strengthened on social media.
Yes, I think that, you know, the Sultan has spoken well, actually, because it has brought this conversation to bear at this point, you know, to the security agencies. And I think what is important is that the information being shared on social media, like that Twitter user alluded to, the fact that you can actually use that information to trace these terrorists. We've taken stories, Vimbai, where we have seen, you know, videos of these bandits flaunting money and all of that. There's this geolocation. We can track these people. Without social media, we will not know their whereabouts.
Absolutely. OJ, I think most of the valid points have been made already. But I think what I want to talk about is how we can restore trust in our leaders.
Yes.
Because when we speak of regulation around social media, it's a taboo. And this is because so much trust has been eroded between leaders and people. So when people, social media users, hear about regulation of the social media space, they already feel that it's an opportunity for politicians to weaponize the space and gag opposition and gag voices that are counter to whatever they stand for. So I think there's a lot of work that needs to be done there in us understanding that regulation is important. Everything is regulated. Television, Rufai took us through the history. If you go through the history, most of the media started very liberal, and then we realized that, oh no, there has to be rules. You know, one of my favorite examples is Mussolini, and how, you know, Mussolini, before he rose to be a dictator, he actually was used to plant stories
He ran a newspaper.
In an attempt to paint the opposition negatively. So regulation doesn't have to be a bad thing. However, it should not be weaponized, and we need to carry people along to ensure that it is fair and just in its implementation.
Well said, Joel. Thank you. Well, meanwhile, the Inspector General of Police, Kayode Egbetekun, visited Plateau State on Tuesday following the recent killings in the state. The police chief condemned the violence and assured residents that the perpetrators will be caught soon. Egbetekun also recognized the negative impact on local farming communities and urged the public to avoid profiling criminals by ethnicity, stressing the importance of unity in addressing crime.
These criminal elements will soon be surprised because I know that their days are numbered. And I want to appeal for calm. I want to appeal to our people that we should not profile criminals based on their ethnics. We must stop ethnic profiling of criminals. Criminals must be dealt with as criminals. Criminals don't have tribes. They are just criminals. Let us work together to ensure that the criminals in our midst are dealt with as criminals and not on the basis of where they come from.
All right, Kayode Egbetekun there. I actually wanted to amplify this soundbite because I liked what he said about, you know, being against ethnic profiling. You know, we've talked about this issue at large. But, you know, the conversation was widely circulated that he did not even visit the Bassa local government area of the state when he went there. And this is why I'm amplifying the story, because it is important. This issue is not about showing off and making speeches. It's about really identifying the problems. The Inspector General of Police went to Plateau State, and we had our reporter on ground saying that he did not visit the local government area. A worrying situation.
Confirm now, few months ago, or should I say, it is never long we heard that they are proposing to regulate social media in this country. Some people were even alleging that they wanted to ban social media before this one is now coming out, which is something to watch out, very careful for, because there is no smoke without fire. And just like I told you, social media has made it impossible, or should I say, really impossible for anybody to do something and hide it for the general public to see. In fact, before you drop it, the information will be everywhere. But I'm going to allow you to share your own thought with me on the comment section. And of course, you know the vibe. Click on that share button, subscribe and follow for more updates. Because like this, we move.